Hello, I'm Shannon Haynes, a registered dietitian at Pecans Hospital. Today we are making a holiday recipe that is a mixed nuts that make a wonderful gift. It's a much healthier thing to give our friends and family instead of the traditional cookies and sweets and things like that. So what it has are all different types of nuts that I'm using. You can always add or take away ones that you might like, or if there's some that you don't like, you can take some of those out. So it's very open to whichever you like. This is a very easy recipe to make, and first what you want to do is preheat the oven to 225 to 250, somewhere in that range is a good temperature. You don't want it to be too hot because the nuts will burn. We've chosen this cooking sheet that is fairly solid. You don't want a really thin cookie sheet because it'll make the nuts burn very easily. What we're going to do is first we have some walnuts, and walnuts are wonderful for their health, very heart healthy. They have a lot of omega-3 fatty acids. Next, what we're going to put in here are some almonds. About another cup we're going to use of almonds. And almonds are also very healthy for us. They have a lot of minerals in them, like most nuts do, but almonds especially are high in calcium, which are great for our bones. We have some cashews, which are very tasty. They're healthy for us. They are not as high in the omega fatty acids, but they are still good for us. Good source of protein and fiber. Then we have some pecans. I don't have as many pecans. They are also like cashews. They're a little higher in the polyunsaturated fats, which is still, it's okay. It's good for us, has some protein, and it does have some good quality fiber in it. They also tend to be a little expensive, so we only have about a little under a cup of the pecans, because you don't want this recipe to break your bank. So, and we have some peanuts that we're going to add as well. There's about a cup of peanuts. So now we're going to spread the nuts across the pan so we can now put the seasoning on there. We're going to do about a quarter of a cup of soy sauce. And this is the low sodium soy sauce that I've chosen, and that is for, it's healthier for us not to have all of the salt that you get from the regular soy sauce, especially for people who are on low salt diets. Then we're going to add a ½ teaspoon of garlic powder, more or less to taste. If you really like garlic, or the person you're cooking for is a big garlic fan, you can add more. And we're also going to add a ½ teaspoon of onion powder. You may have noticed that I didn't actually measure a lot of the seasonings that go on the nuts, because this recipe is so easy that it's very versatile. You can really pick and choose. If you like it to be a little bit more of the soy sauce flavoring, you could add a little bit more or a little less of the onion or the garlic. You could even make these spicy by adding some cayenne pepper, or you could even drizzle a little bit of honey on there if you wanted them to be a little bit sweeter. So the amounts for the recipe that I state are just general. So now we're going to mix up the nuts and make sure that they're nicely coated with the seasoning. That's all that's involved. It's a very easy recipe. All of the seasoning is on there. You may have noticed that we don't have any oil in this recipe, and we have a non-stick baking pan that we're using, so it's not going to stick to the bottom. And it doesn't need the oil. It comes out wonderful. The nuts have a nice healthy fat that gives it that flavor that you would get from an added oil, but it still is much healthier for us. And so they're ready to go in the oven, and you're going to want to just stir them every 10 minutes or so, just to make sure that the bottom doesn't brown or burn. And it just cooks at 225 for about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so here's our finished product. They come out absolutely wonderful. You want them to be nice and browned like that. You don't want them to stay in there till they get real dark so they look a little burnt. You want them to come out real nice. And what I've already added the craisins, You can add about a half a cup to a cup, depending how much you like those. They add a nice red festive color to them, and also some antioxidants from the cranberries. You can take these and you can put them in any assortment of tins. They make great gifts, or you can even fill them up in these little bags and give them to your coworkers or family or friends or whomever. Either way, they make a really great holiday gift and snack.